Hello everybody, my name is Harry. I'm the developer on Neon Marble Rust, and today we're going to go over some reviews and feedback that we've gotten recently. Tasteless did a big sponsored stream for us, and he and his audience have sent back lots of useful feedback. Today we got to 10 reviews, which is nice. It's an important milestone for the Steam algorithm. So Tasteless, he did note the grid-based movement, which nobody else really noticed, and he also said that the game feels good overall. Units are responsive and that kind of thing. The first big bit of feedback that he had was about audio and that kind of thing, in particular in the economy. So right now all we have is mining. So there's a little mining sound that plays, and then there's another one that finishes when it plays when it drops off, right? So one issue here that I need to fix is that if you click like that and then stop the miner right away, it just plays it once. So this is something that needs to be fixed at some point, where the animation needs to be attached to the unit rather than just spawned in that one spot. There's some weird things that you can do, spawning a whole bunch of them. And that limits it, and that we also have the same problem with buildings. So there's a little audio thing that plays, and then there's a sound when the unit finishes. And the same is true for resource conversion. It keeps playing if you cancel it, right? So all that can be fixed up. Those sounds can all be made a little more impactful when that's done. But yeah, like in StarCraft and other RTS games, when you click on buildings and things, it plays sounds. And in Neon Marble Rust, we don't have any unit voices or anything yet. All that can be improved. Let's see, who else are we looking at? Oh yeah, like in StarCraft, when you click a button like this, when you hit the hotkey to start a ability, there'll be an audio cue for that. And even sometimes when there's an ability that you use, there's an audio cue. Yeah, and then the other thing that some people and also Tasteless have said was the HUD is a little out of the way. It's a little bit hard to see. Down here in the corner, it needs to catch the eye more. Some people have suggested that the command panel over here be not be transparent, be opaque, because I don't know. I do like that idea. I'm not disagreeing with it. There is one issue here. If we can line up, there we go. So we've got this button, and then there's a building behind it, right? So when your mouse over the button, this little helper right here that says left click, right click, it's a bit ambiguous as to what's going on. And when you click the button, it just does the ability. It doesn't click the unit. So making this opaque would help with all that. Make it easier to see, and then also deal with this issue of ambiguity. Another big thing that Tasteless talked about, and I think I can fix it pretty easily, is that when you click the button, it clearly shows that it's being pressed down. But when you hit the hotkey, nothing happens. So that's definitely a big thing to improve. Yeah, so he plays StarCraft, right? So in StarCraft,
reporting for duty. Give me something to shoot.
When you got a unit selected, you hit S, and it shows the stop key getting pressed on the command card. And even with all these other abilities that are targeted
Right away, sir.
where it clears this this panel.
Affirmative.
Even then, it shows the button getting pressed, and then you'll keep hearing this this bloop sound. Bloop bloop.
Yes, sir.
So these buildings all they all use that generic sound. Those buildings have a special. They have a special sound when you select them.
Yes, sir. Reporting for duty.
And units, of course, have a whole bunch. They've got all kinds of
Go,
voice lines and stuff.
Additional supply depots required.
Game will tell you if you need more supply depots.
Orders, Captain? Affirmative. Orders received. You want a piece of me, boy? Jacked up and good to go. Rock and roll. Orders,
So else
Captain?
going on here.
Commander,
I
orders,
also
Captain?
noticed that
Right away, sir. Orders received.
the
Roger
unit
that.
does whatever the unit's doing. That icon is highlighted.
Orders received. Affirmative.
Yeah, so the last bit of feedback was resource conversion, right? So in my game, you can convert resources, grab a bunch of units, hit R, that kind of thing. So some people were having trouble with this. I did change the tutorial. I was worried originally that tutorial would be too wordy. So I've just added a few sections about resource conversion and that kind of thing. We can go look at these reviews. Let's see here. Crass had a lot to say. He was on the stream with Tasteless. He said the biggest issue here was that the resource conversion isn't straightforward, and he's suggesting getting rid of it and all that. So based on that, I do have an idea here for a new game mode, which will help explain why. We have all these resources. Alright, so I've got a second game mode going here, second sandbox mode going. Yeah, so this is what that game mode would look like. You've got a big base, you've got lots of resource converters and unit production and everything. And so someone who plays just the tutorial might be confused as to what these resources add, right? Because you've got all these extra resources. There's 7 in total. And this whole system replaces the tech requirement system, right? So like back in StarCraft, you need a barracks before you can make a factory. Here you need something like a foundry before you can make, a barracks. And in this kind of a game mode, you would realize very quickly that it takes a lot of effort to macro. And so then you can get the multi-building selection upgrade, or maybe you can use the energize ability that you have on a power plant or a mojo tower or something to grant energy to buildings, and then you can automate those buildings, right? Automation costs extra energy, so it's slower. And that's just for the resource converters. The same thing is true for your buildings, your unit production buildings. So there's a lot of different ways to macro. So the resources allow that to happen. And there's that costs, all these things cost mojo, and that links back into the defensive units, that kind of thing, and this radar scan ability that costs mojo. So I think a game mode like this would go a long way to teach somebody why all these resources exist in the first place. Alright, so back looking at these reviews here. He also talked about Crass also talked about the, where was it? The terrain. Yeah, the terrain can definitely be improved. if you go back to the game, there's also, if you go way over the edge of the screen, you can see the crowd, the stadium. That's definitely work in progress. What else is on this list here? There were little hiccups. Oh, yeah, the wind condition could be better explained in some of these game modes. Yeah, a lot of people are critical of the UI. It'd be great if the HUD. One plan I have is to have the HUD be different for each faction. That would go a long way. Then you can take some of these tidbits and things into account. But yeah, everybody who's reviewed the game, thanks for your reviews, and thanks to Tasteless and Say and everybody who's streamed the game. And yeah, so thanks for watching.